Kurt, one of the things that I have always enjoyed about our relationship is, I've said this to you before, I think of your superpower as curiosity. And no matter what I was working on at the time, you were always ready, willing, and able to jump in and dive in whatever deep waters that I'm working on that day.
Yeah.
What's that superpower all about, and sort of how did it manifest itself in our decade-long relationship?
I have loved it. And it's one of the strengths that you have where you have met me curious energy with energy, but have balanced that out with your experience and your calmness and your strength, which frees me up to be myself. And I have just loved journeying with you. I remember, I remember one day you decided to buy an airplane and get into refurbishing airplanes, and with a partner and investor group. And you said, "Hey, I just wrote a letter to Vice President X, and I won't say his name, and I bought his share of an airplane." And I'm like, "Wait, well, first of all, how do you buy a share of an airplane?" And you what? And then that journey helped me to be open-minded, which is so helpful in life, especially in a startup. And went into inventory of bolts that were like $16,000 and all these things. And I'm like, yeah, if Roger can buy an airplane, maybe I can do that. I can buy an airplane. And so you continued to allow me to be myself. That allowed me to be able to think outside the box, which is very helpful. There was one Christmas where, we had to report our financials to various states, and no state is more stringent in our industry at the time than Florida. And we needed a certain amount on the balance sheet, and the investor would fund that if that was short, right? And then your balance sheet was fine. You add that to your debts, you're good. And we had just, because of the nature of the startup, a million things happened, and we'd forgotten to do that. And through our relationship, allowing me to think outside the box, allowing me to be curious and creative, we were able to work with our accountant. We were able to solve that problem. And sometimes you just have to stay curious in life, and to stay in the game. You have to be open-minded, and our relationships definitely fostered that. So that's been good.
Thanks, Kurt. One of the things that I heard from a corporate coach up in Minneapolis recently, she called me and she said, paraphrasing, "One of your superpowers, Roger, is the ability to lend courage to your clients."
Yeah.
And I think I hear a little bit of that in your story. Tell me if I'm right or wrong.
Absolutely. That's why I launched this company 30 years ago. Someone else, it was part of their thesis as a senior paper from NYU. They launched a company. And so just watching giants in business, watching men do what they're passionate about and take their shot and go for it. I watched you the last 10 years do that. And my boys have watched you. And so that definitely, you've lent me courage in many board meetings, many investor phone conversations. Just knowing, hey, Roger bought Mr. Vice President's plane. I can keep going here.
I'll have to write a chapter of the book sometime on how to buy a airplane from a vice president of the United States. So
is that Air Force 2 or something? Maybe Air Force 33. Who knows?
It wasn't that impressive, but I appreciate the jolt. So, well, listen, thank you for taking some time with me this morning. Extend my greetings to your lovely wife and your boys, and let's spend some more time together.
Thanks, Roger. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Kurt.